Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is Monday, May 15th. That can't be right. Yeah, that's right. Oh, it is. Okay. Alright, yeah. Yeah. There's a new eggs. Anyway. Yeah, so... May 15th. No real... Anyway. We're starting. I don't know. So, what we were working on yesterday, we were actually tweaking the, aura colors of the tiles to make them more visible. Also removed all the animation effects. I could still add animation effects in, just by, varying the parameter by time and just making sure it gets called on a regular basis. I think actually it's on tick now. Yep, date material tick. So I just gotta do current time and then add into one of the parameters. But I'm not sure if I really should. Except maybe varying between two different shades of red for the eat. Or capture, what do you want to call it. Eat is quicker to type and less syllables to say. So we're going to be replacing the board because it doesn't fit our art style. I think I might want to actually increase the light on this as well. Make him shine a little bit more now we dropped our exposure. So now instead of a yellow selection cursor, we're using a kind of a light blue. Dark blue means move. Green is currently selected piece. So if we do it like this, sure, we'll move this piece over here. Now we have this axis here. Axis here. I'll get the quick kill. It could be either way. I can use the queen or the pawn of the. And now, here, like I said, this could end up being, switching between two shades of red. Probably don't want to mess with the opacity anymore because it's clearly affecting our ability to have a certain color in all lighting conditions. Hey, let's just kill him off. And we win! Should look at this for now. It's a bit of a vignette or vignettes. This has been disabled, so I can probably even delete it now. I just left it there in case I wasn't sure, but it's looking like this lighting profile is going to be good. Try 7. Whoops. 8. Twelve is a little bit too high. Trying to get a nice bloom color to it without let's try some light. No. Haha, that's interesting. So it looks like all we have left is this guy up here. No.
Close my eyes, it's all coming to me. We said these walls could never.
Let's do a multiply node. I'm gonna press apply and let's see how that messes with our scene. Gonna drop it back down to 1. Doesn't seem to affect down here any. We got the 10. Let's do a build. Do it high quality. Interesting little mess up there. Okay. We're waiting for us to build. We're gonna open up a Blender. So the size of this is so each of these is going to be 300 apart. So 250 would be 5 50 centimeter cells. How large is one of the tiles anyway? So 250, that'd be the same size. Okay. I'm gonna make them a bit smaller, I think. Yeah, make it 60% and 70%. I can probably do 250, which would split evenly into 50s. So I'll be doing a 50 meter cube and just duplicate it a bunch, and I'll have the, well, not exactly duplicate it a bunch, kind of cut it off and shave it. Yeah, Mir, you get a lot of computers. You know what? Let's open up a previous project here. Here we go. Pray Jill will take it away. So each of these is going to be 10 meters. Or 5 meters, sorry. No, 10 meters, right. So let me save as. Check it. Chessboard 1A. Do voxel 1A. Hide. Okay. Now we're going to unhide and we'll see it rendered. Sorry if it's going to drop my frame rate a little bit. Cool. Okay. Now we'll hide again. Because what we want is something that's going to be roughly half a meter per voxel. We just need to make sure that it tiles correctly to the 30s or the 300s. So 0.5 meters, 0.5 meters, 0.5 meters. Zoom in. What? Oh. I use Control A and Alt A frequently, and I forgot which one was which for a second there. Control A lets you set orientations, like bake them in. So if you do, a scale, a rotate, and a translation, you can then do Control A and bake those values, one or all of them, into a new pivot. So that way, that's your 0 on each, or for scale 1 on each axis. Okay, so now I want this one to face up. So we're going to do bevel. Oh wait, we're going to go to edit mode. We're going to do bevel. There we are. Amount 10. Would that be about right? Okay. Come on, you. Bingo. Okay. On the camera. That's actually probably too much. I shouldn't actually need it. You know what? Let's forget the camera. No, let's keep it in case. That's how you press the 0 and it doesn't just freak out on you. Yeah, I'll do it the right way, actually. Thought you could bake the camera. Anyway, sure, whatever. Add empty arrows. I'll make this 0, 0, 0, 0. Then I'll parent you to you. So now as I move the camera around, that'll be its focal point. I usually use the axes for, so I usually do 2 pivots for when I do a camera for an actual scene. I have X, Y, Z be what I use to move the camera around the scene. Then I have another one without any arrows, so just like just plain the axes. And that's what I use for rotation. So that way I can rotate and move without affecting one or the other. However, in this case, I'm not actually going to be doing any rendering in Blender. I'm just going to be exporting the geometry back to Unreal Engine 4. So I really don't care. I'm just kind of leaving the camera in the scene. So if I hit, number pad 0, or if I do something, I'm not going to end up freaking the scene out. Because I'll have a camera of some sort into it. So instead of doing that, I could just say... There we are. Instead of saying all that, I could just change it to one we don't care much about. Now let's do 45 degrees. Let's do negative 45 degrees, and then oh, sorry. So now we're here. We can see it if our clip plane wasn't messed up. And 1 kilometer. There you go. We actually need it anyway, so we're going to be hiding all this. But still exists. Okay. That little bit of housekeeping aside, let's go back to our setup there. So edit mode. Active element. We're going to go to there, and we're going to move it down. Right around there. Grab Z negative 18333. Oh. Probably doing something stupid. Try to make us go down to 0. I know what I'm doing is not that hard. Yeah, I'm just losing my mind at this point, I guess. It should be right, because it's 10, right? There we go. Okay. So what I did was, because I set the bevel to 10, I did geometry to origin, which set it to in the middle there. So if I move up 5, then it would be on 0. And I got a request from Mir, or a suggestion from Mir. Probably not quite this dramatic, but yeah. Okay, now we do set origin to what have we been doing? Where is that origin? There we are. Okay. Oh, and we also need to do 5 or 2.5 and 2.5. So and then 25 centimeters. And then we do here, set location there, and this is what we want. We want to have it be in a corner, so when we move it, we can have it be from a predictable location, not kind of have to do offsets in our brain. And there we go. Now we need to go back into edit mode. Save there. Subdivide. You might recognize this process. I think it's what I did the last time. I could be wrong now. Oh, we need to do snap to vertex. There we are. So now we snap to this vertex here, and we snap to this vertex there. So that way we're in line with this one on the y-axis, and in line with that one on the x-axis. That's a little trick in Blender. If you have snap mode enabled, or whatever, if you move an axis and you snap wherever it is, like you can be over here or over there, but if it's in line, it will make it a little circle, and it will have your vertex be in line on that axis. So you don't have to do all 3 axes, you can only do one of the axes you want. Okay, and then you take this guy here, this guy there, press the J key to create an edge between these two. You're not actually adding any more geometry, you're just telling it that this 4-side figure should look like this 3-side figure when you go back to triangles. All the vertices are there, it's just you're telling it explicitly where the 4-sided and 5-side elements diverge. So this is clearly going to be my art style. Bevel, and you just keep repeating it. Now we need to UV map this. So we need to make 2 UV maps. We're going to have this be material, and this be light map. So for material channel, now we have to decide how we want to unwrap this. Part of me was thinking that this could be annoying, but part of me was thinking that I might want to have 2 tones for the well, I'll show you here actually. So for the voxel elements, I'm thinking I might want to have 2 tones. One for the flat face and one for the edge between them. Have it be a bit darker. On top of the lighting. So lighting would then contribute on top of that with ambient occlusion or whatever. That's a bit more difficult because I would then need to assign each island to... Well, I would need to have the islands be packed because when you then add multiple voxels into a single mesh, because you don't want to have one draw call per voxel, that would be a bad idea. Stop myself from saying something else. That would be a bad idea. So you need to have, you know, multiple together, which means you want to have separate colors. You need to actually have an offset. So you'd end up having your texture be like a, you know, 4x4 if you want 4 colors. Well, if you want 2 colors. 8x8 if you want. No, 4x4 would be 4 colors. 8 colors, sorry. 4x4 would be 8 colors. Because it's 16 pixels. But if you have 2 colors per pixel, well, yeah, 2 colors per... 2 actual colors per fake color, then you would have them side by side. So you actually split your mesh up. So that way it unwraps. It'll be stretched all hell, but who cares? It's a solid color otherwise. Such that it's all one island, but all the polygons on one side will overlap with that one pixel, and all the polygons on the other side will overlap with the other pixel. And then you just assign each voxel of a certain color to one of the 8 pairs. So in a 4x4, there'd be 2 here, and then 2 there, and then 2 below, 2 below, 2 below, 2 below, 2 below, 2 below. So you'd be able to choose 8 colors with 2 variations for each. So a you know, light tan and a dark tan, right? Well, tan and whatever the tan edge would be, and so forth. And then from there, the lighting would add to that for ambient occlusion or whatever. That's okay because that'll occur on the light map, which is just, you know, not stretched at all. It'll be, you know, done as evenly as possible. But just tell Blender, you know, pack island as close as you can, and just have a high enough resolution that it covers, right? I'm not sure if this art style will actually be sustainable. Might end up being too difficult to do anything reasonable with, but, you know, we'll see. As you can see, this ends up being a bit painful if you are doing a large map. And, oh, thanks 47 Society for hosting me. Yeah. So let's see if Unreal Engine solved yet. We also need to mess with this room a little bit, give it a trim on the side, and a material. Yeah. I actually didn't install Filter Forge yet, I completely forgot. I should actually leave that note for myself. I mean, I have a license to it, I just haven't installed it since I reformed my computer. What? Okay. Play a game of chessboard on a new light. Pretty bright. Not sure if that's bad though. What does everyone think of the lighting profile of this one? And by the way, from the performance standpoint, we're still locked in at like 120 FPS there. It was lower when it wasn't maximized, of course, but yeah. And I'll get the quick kill if I want to. I don't think I do actually want to play an actual game. Get back there. Yeah, it's easy, a bit easy to manipulate in certain ways. Oh! Completely forgot about the queen. No! Wow, I am absolutely losing this. AI pulled one over on me. Anyway. So now we have to deal with this. So anyway, that's one way of doing it. I'm not sure if it's the best way of doing it. That means that per draw call we'll have a possibility of 8 pairs of base colors. Let's see. Which game is notorious for draw calls? There's a lot of them. Probably the one that's most famous for draw calls would be Assassin's Creed Unity, which was hitting over 50,000 from what I heard, draw calls per frame. That's difficult to do, to say the least. When I'm doing Unreal Engine 4 games, usually I don't have much of a problem until we hit around like 5,000 draw calls or whatever. Then you start seeing the frame rate start precipitate pretty quickly. You can, if you're a AAA studio, you can tweak all that and get it faster and so forth. Like I'm sure the, let's say the Coalition making Gears of War 4 probably had more than 5,000 draw calls that they can push through. I'm just pretty sure Epic can easily do a lot more than that too, right? Especially if you're only targeting whatever frame rate. But when you start getting to like 10,000, 20,000, like 20,000 draw calls, seems to be where people say that you're hitting your limits, right? Ubisoft pushed it to 50,000, as I said. And we all know what happened to that game. There was rumors that was actually one of the things that caused the problem. I don't know. But yeah, it would seem interesting if it was. Yeah. So here what we're going to do is we're going to take this here, and we're going to do mark seam. And then we're going to get a new window, leave it in our other monitor, switch it to UV unwrap. We gotta close down that though. What have you got to say? My heart is on display, but I'm not afraid. Yeah, I'm not afraid. I was wondering if there's a way you can actually set the resolution of this thing without actually creating an image. Blender, UV, editor, resolution. So that way I can easily see where to put the UVs. Without, creating an image. Not seeing a tutorial about that right away, so we're just going to create an image. 4x4. Okay. Okay, let's see what Mir posted. I know it wasn't for me, it was for Durs, but... actually neither of those. Well... to increase my understanding of the universe, for that. So the comment was, why am I majoring in physics? Or, in this case, why did I get a physics degree? Because I actually majored in physics and got the degree back in 2009. So, it's, as for how to build a lightsaber, no. I would be more of the crowbar type of physicist. I could make us spend half of my life learning from... never mind. That would be too bad of a pun. You probably know what I'm thinking at this point, though. Actually, I already said it. Right, so... So here we are here. Now we're going to do our unwrap. And now we have this. So what I want to do is I want to, because we're only dealing with small amounts of data, so only a couple of pixels, we're going to move it such that each face what? No. There we go. Come on. Come on. I'll move every other face into here, and it's gonna be warped and stretched to all holy heck, but I really don't care. Just want to make sure that this is right on the edge. 'Kay. So, what direction is X? I think X is... yeah. X, 0.01. There we are. And I just want to make everything else fit inside there, so scale. Right. Where's our pivot? 2D cursor, and we want to here. Snap cursor. Sure, whatever, close enough. Then we do our... Why am I even doing that? All I need is to just move all of these vertices in here. I don't care how stretched it is. So, if we have our voxel mapped to a 4x4 texture, we know that the front face will be entirely contained in the top left pixel, and the rest of the faces will be entirely contained in the second from the top left pixel. So now we have, so this is kind of this, goes into that. So now we have 8 variations, so we can have, come on, this island be there, or we can have it be that for another variation, or that for another variation, and so forth. So on a voxel by voxel basis, we're going to be shifting the tile map around. This is why I said I'm not sure if this is be sustainable, because holy heck, that's a lot of work. But on a voxel by voxel basis, we will shift it around on that 4x4 grid to get the 1 of 8 color patterns we want. But for our light map, we don't care. We just want to have it be as unstretched as possible and as contiguous as possible. So we can just, you know, have that channel be some other method. All one island, but with seams to make it unwrap. So in our second channel, UV map, UV channel 1, instead of 0, 1, as we add more level voxel, you just tell Blender pack islands, and it will spread out accordingly. So the material will be a lot more complicated than the material will be a lot more complicated, or complicated than the light map channel. But that's okay, and we'll be able to preview in Blender, so it's good. Okay. Actually, now we should probably make a sample 4x4 texture and import into Blender so we can see in Blender what it would look like. So we don't have to import UE4 and then do our tweaks and then send them over, right? So let's open up Photoshop. Excuse me. Nope, I want to have a custom one of 4 pixels by 4 pixels. And yes, Photoshop, I know what I'm doing. Okay, that's 32,000. Pencil tool. So here we're gonna have this be probably some tanny color. And then we're going to increase the set, or increase the brightness a little bit. That's probably a little too much. There we are. Sure, why not? Okay, now we're going to do white and 90% gray. And we're going to do probably 10% black. Should have a little bit less than that. Let's do 20% black, and then, 20% gray, and then 10% gray. And for this, we'll switch it up so that this is at there, and then here we'll do 20, well, 80%. Then we need to think of some. Oh, you're not even looking at this. Whoops. Now we need to think of some other colors that we'd want. Probably want a light green like this. And we're allowed to make multiple of these, by the way. We just have to have them separate draw calls. So you'd have to have multiple materials. But, you know, 2 materials is better than 16. So we saved a little bit of performance if we did that. Oh geez, we've been already going for about 50 minutes. So yeah, we'll need a green. Alright, can't zoom any closer. Let's actually do a pull of this, and we'll just switch its hue around. Probably pretty good. And then we will drop its brightness down a little bit. And I said earlier that this is kind of what you have to do when you're designing an art style. Obviously, it's not what a lot of like actual studios do. A lot of actual studios, you know, do concept art. They have like environmental concept art, character art, and so forth to have their designs in some prototype fashion, and they build their art off of that. But I mean, doing it live and doing it in concept art, you know, you still have a lot of churn, a lot of decisions to make, right? Okay, so yeah. So how do we want our chessboard to look? And yeah, any other variation would be in our lighting. go back into chessboard level. So I had the 2 for the tiles around here for the board. Then I had a green, which I don't really need, but whatever. What else should I have? I don't know what you're doing here. Oh yeah, it's this Light Studio. Rather than make it easier, activate in-like bash and shell windows. More importantly, bring English back to the Windows server. Oh yeah. So if it's not clear, what we're planning on doing is eliminating these, like this board, and we're going to replace it with a bunch of small little voxels that make up the chessboard grid. I'm trying to think of what colors I need to make an interesting chessboard. Cross stream should be much more interesting, but yeah. I can actually kind of do a fence around it. Well, I'm not sure actually I could do the fence with the size of voxels I'm doing. I have to shrink the voxels down, which I can easily do. That's no problem, but that's performance, right? So we just start doing this. So that should be good. Let's save this right now to a PNG. With nearest neighbor. It's trying to do some weird blending. I think it's just the preview though. If not, that would be kind of terrible. New folder, textures, voxel, chessboard 01. Okay. So now import. Okay. Well, that's a mess. Apparently not. Expert PNG. That should work. Oh, it's just not previewing right in Unreal Engine. I am confused. I've done something like this before. There we are. Okie dokie. Let's save. Right. And now in here, this is where we actually cared. We're going to add in open image. Oh, I need to actually move it. Right. to projects, environments, new folder, textures. There we are. So now we can then environments, textures. There we are. So now, as you see, this will end up being like that. So all of these triangles are in this one, all of those triangles are in that one. And then we're going to call this material voxel. And the color is going to be image texture, open. There we are. So now we go to material. Just messed up there. Yeah, just messed up. Okay. Sorry if I'm losing a bit of a frame rate here. Am I a perfectionist? Is that what you're asking? No. So I do like to fiddle with things and kind of tweak them around a little bit. I do like to optimize things. If I need to ship something, I will ship it even if it's something that rhymes with ship. Yeah. So, yeah. Am I a perfectionist? Not really. I mean, if I was given the time, I'd probably keep tweaking things until it's, you know, done. But there's pretty much everything I've actually sent out, I've not been entirely satisfied with, but I still released it, right? Like the animation for the multi-GPU thing. There's a bunch of scenes, like there's a bunch of things wrong with it. So first off, the scenes are actually done in different camera styles. The first sideways one where we have, we talk about lucid logics, and just before that, all that's done orthographic. All the other ones are perspective. That's the only orthographic shot. Even the other ones that are in the same style are done perspective. That one's orthographic. I changed my mind and went to perspective, even though the next perspective shot... You know what? I'm just going to open up the video and I'll show you. Sorry for the...
Crossfire and SL.
It's here. So let's mute. No offense to Ryan. So yeah, I like this shot. I actually like this shot too, but I mean, if we go to this shot here, this is actually done orthographic. And I like this part, but I'm not much a fan of like the little bumps here to show what I'm talking about. I should have had more animation to just like that, right? Then this is perspective again. That one shot here is the only orthographic shot I have. Here, then this one here was when I did a similar shot in perspective, but they weren't all facing the right direction. I kind of tracked to make them look fine because I didn't want to have the light kind of blare them out. This shot's pretty good. This shot was actually added in the last day. It was supposed to be blank here, but Alan, when I showed it to him, said he thought that the animation froze or something. so I had to add something quick. So I'm like, yeah, let's take 4 tokens, have them go to a motion path, render it out. Took like 20 minutes and upload a new version. It was like an hour before I sent it to Ryan. Is from start to finish with this one shot here. Director's commentary. So here, not much a fan of this shot. It works though. Same thing here. I could have changed something different here. Little bumps here. This shot I'm actually really proud of. I really like this shot too, especially with the, you know, moving in top cards here. So, bling, bling. Alright. And then this part's B-roll from old piece perspective footage. Then this sequence here, I was running out of gas. I just wanted to get this thing out the door, so I just did whatever I could as a summary. So then I did a little After Effects thing here. And I added like nothing here, but it was just Ryan saying nothing, so I said, oh, whatever. So there's a bunch of things I didn't like about this video, but, you know, did I ship it? Yeah, right. The goal was to have a video once per month. That's one of the things too, so there's been a lot of research done regarding quantity versus quality, and there was actually one guy who had a user experience course, I think it was, a UI course. Maybe it was an art course, can't remember. Ended up being a big UX user experience research case study though. And he basically said, okay, half the class, you only need to make one work of art, one, you know, clay pot or something. You only need to make one. You're graded on how good it is. And the other half of class, they said, I don't care how good it is, you make as many as possible. Keep making them. You're graded on quantity. One's graded on quality, one's graded on quantity. An interesting thing happened. The people who are graded on quantity had better works at the end of it, just from the, you know, rapid iteration of it. So when people spent all their time trying to make one thing really good, they were actually progressing slower than someone who just made a pile of crap. Slowly getting better over time and eventually getting to something that's really good. Which is interesting for that, you know, that, from an education and teaching standpoint, it's an interesting thing to think about, especially in situations where, let's say you're talking about, like, you know, times tables or whatever, where there is nothing getting better. You're either right or you're wrong, and it's like one step, right? So I'm interested how that would play into that versus, you know, full assignments and stuff like that. So to some extent, if you are too much of a perfectionist, you're actually going to slow yourself down more than just the time taking fiddling. Like, you're actually hindering your learning process, and you're going to end up with a worse work of art at the end. Are you saying you want to release an animation every week? My goal was to release an animation every month. Every week would not be possible because from script to recording dialogue, which wouldn't be me because I'm not good at recording dialogue, that'd be Ryan, or whoever the voice actor is. Going back, starting, and just rendering time, it would not be possible in a week. Like, you can speed it up significantly if you have a render farm just sitting on the side and you just send your work there. That will make the work go a lot quicker. But even still, you're still limited by submitting your work to the computer to crunch off. That's a significant amount of time. Like the bumpers that I have, well, you see this guy right here. About 2 seconds of footage on that scene I did these bumpers in. For the end of the chess piece. 2 seconds of just this one chunk of footage was 24 hours of render time. I could make it a lot quicker after I learned some things of it, but with the settings I had, it was 24 hours for 2 seconds at 60 FPS. So that's a significant chunk of time, and it wasn't a slow computer either. Yeah. Anyway, so now we have this. Now we need to start duplicating. Actually, no, first we need to save. And we also then need to go into our light map. And actually work to... yeah, so clear scenes. There we are. Okay, now we are trying to do our light map, which means we just need to have it be consistent. So I'm gonna mark a seam there, mark a seam there, mark a seam there, mark a seam there. That might be it, because the rest are just fold out. Fine. Okay. So mark a seam. So in our here, unwrap. There we go. That should be fine. Let's see here. So let's go back here. Let's do unwrap. Conformal. I guess that's as good as we're gonna get. Okay. So now we have our 2 UV maps. So in here, now we just need to duplicate this. Well, we're gonna save, probably actually save a. Open. Okay, good. Alright, now we are going to start to duplicate it. Duplicating. Centimeters, 0, 0. And we're going to make a full chessboard out of this. So for a chessboard, so each period's 300, so there will be 6 per period, which means 5, and then 1 buffer, or 2 buffer. The 5 and 1 buffer, because it'd be half on that side. So, 6 times 8 is 48. So we need 48 voxels from corner to corner, and we have stuff on the outside. So we'll do 48 by 48 for now. Well, 50 by 50 for now. Yeah. So 50 by 50. I'm not gonna do this one by one. I just want to get 5 out of the way first. .5 and 0 and 0. 2.5 meters. There we are. So 5 meters and 0 and 0. So we need 50, is it? Yeah. So 3 more of these. Okay. So now this is 900 triangles. So times that by 50. 45,000 triangles. That's very low for a whole environment, right? Or a main part of an environment. Okay, so 0, 50, and 0. Zero, 50, 0. 0, 50, 0. 0, 50, 0. And yes, I realize this is going to put a big damper on making, you know, niche maps, but because the art style is going to be a lot more difficult. A lot more time intensive. You can't just throw away a map in an hour. So this is 10. There we are. That's going to be our chessboard level. On the top, at least. And now we have our material shade. So period of that, so
Turn around.
Okay. Now in our UV map, we then reload our test fossil chessboard. And this will make it the bottom left, so we're going to make that the gray tile. Based on this here. I realize it's backwards, but it's the same because it's all diagonal. So now we're going to take all these voxels and we're going to move them down there, which means that our pattern is now this. And that's what our chessboard's going to start to look like. Now we do that a lot more times. And that will end up being our art style. This is probably a very bad idea. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Now we're going to go into here. There we are. Never said that this art style was going to be quick. Again, part of the reason is because we're trying to save a bit of time on draw calls. We can make it a lot quicker if we just have everything assigned to individual material per color. And maybe that might make sense at some point. Maybe we can fiddle right. I'm doing a little move right here to make sure that I'm pressing the G key in the right monitor. Because when you invoke an action in a monitor, then it's going to be set to that monitor next time, right? Probably leave the camera in this monitor here. Because I'm not going to be able to change every single tile, alright? It's probably the more interesting one. Oh no. I'm off by 1. Yeah, it would be off by 1. It's 49 by 49, not 50 by 50. Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna leave you in this monitor for now. For now, this is gonna be the more interesting one. If there's an even number of places, it was going to be...
Every rooftop talk, every stolen kiss, every late night walk, every secret wish, every second chance, every time we dance underneath the light of the street lamp.
Oops. Got one too many. Okay. Go back into here. Then we go back into rendered mode. And there we are. Maybe even better as well if we elevate them a little bit, but I'm not too concerned about that for now. Okay, I just gotta do this a lot more times. Wouldn't suck if we did this and we realized the art style sucks in-game. Oh well. Over time we might find a better way of doing this too, but for now, this is what we have. Doing it one tile at a time. I can do multiple tiles at a time, but then there's an issue if I accidentally misclick one of the triangles. I'd have to erase, like, not erase, but have to deselect and start from scratch, so doing it one at a time is a bit quicker if you make a lot of screw-ups, right? Again, this is also one of the maps that has the most strict requirements for voxels. The other ones I should just be able to, you know, make them all the same rough color of a group and have a little spread throughout for variation. Whereas these are kind of rigid. Some need to be, you know, light, some needs to be dark. So maybe it won't be too bad. And some extent you kind of just need to deal with it, right?
We don't belong making ladders out of cowboy sheets. We will be good.
Good, there we go.
While we're counting stars, they're counting sheep. Peter, all the rest don't make a sound. Just keep running and keep running and keep running. In our heads,
If it ended up being a really big thing and then check it ends up being a popular game and the art style works really well, I probably could even make a voxel creator and just have this all stuff be done for me. So we're running up on time typically, but I'm probably gonna work a little bit longer on this because we're in a flow. Might as well get something going, right? Probably not gonna add it to Unreal Engine today, but I might get the tiling done at least. Maybe. Come on. What? Press the wrong button there. The first one in a row is usually pretty hard for me, because it's hard to tell how high up I need to go. For some reason, I think 4x5, or like 5 wide, 4 high, like here is right, and it seems like this is too tall, even though it's not. And after the first one, it's easy, but you know. Start of the row where you kind of lose perspective. And the reason, of course, is because you have something on that axis, whereas if in new row you don't. You don't have anything on the left of it telling you how high you need to go. And yes, if this was actually, you know, more than just 1 pixel per shade, the UV maps would look ugly. The polygons are all warped around. But when we're dealing with such a low polygon, all we need to care about is this is here, that's there, done, right? I was also thinking as well that our 2D intro for Check It should actually be 3D. So our menu and stuff like that should be actually 3D elements that you, by moving your controller around, would move it around. But that's in the future. Come on. Halfway done. Just see about changing our summon foobar. And now let's do let's go back to the start of this. There we are. Probably get enough idea now I can switch over to this monitor. Oh, nope. That was the wrong window for the hotkey. The box select key, this guy here, is the same as the move to my break hotkey. Which I never use, but you can't disable because OBS. Five. Good to make sure you don't make a mistake now, because otherwise you're screwed. Have to redo whole chunks. Catch mistakes early. Hope you don't catch them often. But if they do arise, then yeah, you want to catch them. One, two, three, four, five. And again, all of this is because we're trying to save draw calls. I could just have each of them be individual material. But that's inefficient. I mean, is it gonna be our bottleneck? Who knows? But Come on. At some point, I should make a Monster Cat album where it's just the kind of songs I like. Thanks, Mir. This is kind of the art style we're going for at the moment. So 49 times, let's say we want to give them each 20 light map pixels. We need a 10 by 24 by 1024 for that, so it's 980. So 1024 by 1024, that'd be pretty good. It's not too bad of a map. Mir's working on his own Monster Cat playlist, cool. What was the song I played 3 or 4 ago? Is it Where I'll Be Waiting? This one? Which sounds more like this one here. This is Where I'll Be Waiting by Rich Edwards, Monster Cat 27. Before that, so checkpoint here. This one. So which one do you like more, Mir? Checkpoint or Where I'll Be Waiting? Unless Durs meant some kind of magic, the one before that. But was it before this one or after this one? I got the playlist in front of me, it's not hard to do. Mir dislikes the one with vocals, I love the one with vocals, so it's gonna be a problem. One of my favorite songs actually in Monster Cat's Valkyrie, even though I listen to it enough that it's, you know, I can get a break from it, but... Oh, it's some kind of magic? Okay. Let's play it again, sure, why not?
I can't tell
then 5 there. Cool. Last row. So in line with that. And one more up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Okay. Actually, it's funny, but the educational animations I did for Piece Perspective, I actually had a plan with those. So I was hoping it'd end up being sustainable, and it might at some point if I get, you know, the ability to give it a good shot, but for the financial situation I was in, I didn't have a chance to give it the chance it needed. But if it ends up working that way, my plan was to so this is going to be the final chessboard grid, and then from there we can grab a row, and I'm going to finish my story in a second, but yeah. From there we can grab a row here, and then why is that? Okay, and then duplicate. Come on. There we are. From here, -60, or sorry, -50, and then 0. And then, I'm gonna finish my story. Then we go to vertex mode, select it here to make sure the cursor, come on. Active element, there we are. And now we can turn to the rotation widget and rotate by 90 degrees. And now you're seeing how this is actually becoming volumetric. So that's going to be kind of the chessboard idea. So yeah, I was hoping with the piece perspective animations that if they would be sustainable, I'd be able to, you know, have a regular monthly income coming from them. Build up all the, you know, equipment I would need to do them quickly. So computer upgrades I started doing, maybe have a render server and so on and so forth. And then after I get into a mode of having getting into animation and getting used to animation in the educational style, start adding some fiction in there and actually end up going into narrative storytelling. And having that be on the side and while still maintaining a regular cadence of piece perspective work. But again, our first video had like 20 to 100 times too little traffic to be sustainable, so other finances come into play. Like I had a nice little plan of potentially going into fiction, but you know how it is. So anyway, I guess that's gonna be roughly it. We're going to save because, of course, we need to save. And we're gonna continue with this next time. So I wanna thank you for watching. I'll see y'all next time, and I'm gonna let one more song play because it's coming up next. So, and it's a good one. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Song change. Come on, song. There we are. See you next time.
Making ladders out of cowboy sheets. We will be gone while we're counting stars. They're counting sheep. Peter, all the rest don't make a sound. Just keep running and keep running and keep running. In our heads, we're 10 feet off the ground. Just keep running and keep running. Keep running, keep running. Between us, sleeping awake, where you can still remember dreams. I swear I'll always love you. That place between us, sleeping awake, where you can still remember dreams. I swear I'll always love you, and that's where I'll be feeling alone. Never thought I'd see this place again. I'm going home in a different world to stay the same. I just hold my breath so